came to give y'all my reaction on the Baltimore Ravens versus Houston, Texas game. The motherfucking Ravens lost again. 4 L's on the season. Now the Ravens is 1-4, and it's looking like it's going to be a hell of a battle uphill to get to the playoffs. You know what I mean? We all fucked over in the game. You know, Lamar's hurt. He ain't coming back necessarily next game. Um, Matabikwe is out for the year. He's not coming back the next game. He's gone the whole entire year. Um, Marlon Humphrey, he is week to week. I don't think he's going to be back the next game. Roquan Smith. See, I'm not even sure. I don't think Roquan played. I don't know his up to date, but just basically know that most of the players that's injured, they're gonna remain injured. But so as far as that game, and everything like that, because I don't want to make this too long-winded, crying about the Ravens, because this was, a tough game. As a fan of the Ravens, it's hard right now, almost hanging our heads, and it's very hard for a lot of Ravens fans right now. A lot of Ravens fans right now, they're not happy. And, so it's hard, for the Ravens fans right now. But, like, as far as that game, it's just the same thing. Same thing as it's been themed all year long. The defense is not that good. It ain't very good at all. Defense is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I don't know where Owe has been. He ain't been making no huge impact. The guy TJ Tampa, he's a young guy, but right now is not his time to be starting 1-on-1 out there on the island against players like Nico Collins. Malik Starks, he's the same way. Malik Starks do not need to be out there on an island 1-on-1. They is getting torched. I can't even see nobody on the defense that was really doing their thing. I mean, I was watching Buchanan. He was must have been playing like middle or something like that. He was flying around, but he wasn't even finishing nowhere. He wasn't getting nothing done. So they was just running. The defense is just terrible. So they want to blame the defense of problems on Zach Orr. I gotta stay on top of the Zach Orr thing. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Cause I gotta, call a spade and just be honest about it. Whatever do I think, stuff like that. So everybody still want to blame Zach Orr, which he do catch some of the blame. He's not exempt for a blame. He's not above the blame or nothing like that. But I know last year something similar was happening. They started off to a bad start, and then everybody just started to blame Zach Orr. And then the defense came back. I think one of the old coaches came back in and was supervising them. It wasn't Dean Pease, but it was somebody that was coming back last year, and they started to supervise Orr but they was already trying to just run Orr out of town. It was like 4 games into his coordinator career. Like, just get him out of there, man. Just get him out of there, man. Stuff like that. So this year, it's something similar. Bad start. Everybody just trying to run him out of town. But I'm thinking that, it's a coaching issue from head to toe. It gotta, fall back on other people than just Orr. This bad, this bad of a team. No, this is not a one man type situation. You know, There's definitely you got to blame multiple people. You got to blame the head coach, obviously, because the head coach can go into the defensive room. He can get anything straightened out. He want to get straightened out. So that's what John Harbaugh need to do. He need to hop in that defensive room. You know, if do what you gotta do, maybe you gotta take over the room. But yeah, so it's gonna fall back on the head coach as well. You guys are a team or a unit. You know what I mean? It's not just what every man for himself on the coaching squad. You know what I mean? And definitely, far as the defense looking bad, I would definitely have to blame the GM for putting together this team. He is not no Ozzie Newsome. I know Ozzie Newsome trained him, but he's not. He's not. Obviously, those were some big shoes for him to fill. Ozzie did, Hall of Fame players like that. Bang, bang, Suggs. Haloti Noah, Ray, Reed, Flacco. You know what I mean? Who even knows? Who else might even be some of the Hall of Fame players? What? Lamar. So I just think that, yeah, when we talking about clearing house, we definitely got to look into clearing house with the GM. It got to be a whole, you know what I mean? It got to be a whole new direction if we talking about clearing house on the coaching and stuff like that. But as far as the defense is bad as far as that game today. It was real bad. All right. The offense, they were bad as well. The offensive line wasn't really getting, a whole lot of good push when they were pushing the ball. It'd be like 3rd and 1. Obviously the defense probably already know what you're doing too, but still, like, I don't know what's going on with those linemen. You know what I mean? Usually Ravens just linemen be monsters. They just pumping out linemen. It's like a lineman factory up there in Owens Mills. You know what I mean? But no, the pipeline is getting dry right now. We must got some pups out there. I know Ronnie Stanley. He hasn't been playing. I think is he injured too? But even Stanley wasn't already playing up to his normal style. So offensive line got his issues. Who does that fall back on? Obviously, that obviously falls back on the GM. You don't got offensive linemen. I can't escape that. I can't escape that. I just see that as part of the problem. Derrick Henry, he ain't part of the problem. You know what I mean? But I do think Keaton Mitchell should get the ball some more and stuff like that. Because you just gotta have like a little thunder and lightning combination. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. Maybe give Keaton Mitchell some more touches. Because maybe you gotta switch it up. They gotta try to switch things up. To get the offense sparked up. It was bad. Okay. Now, stay on the offense. So we had a backup quarterback in because Lamar Jackson was hurt. The backup quarterback was Cooper Rush. You know, Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh, they went out and they handpicked Cooper Rush as that's who they want to back up Lamar if Lamar gets hurt because they already know Lamar is going to get hurt. So that's who they chose, Cooper Rush. Okay, what the hell? That's on the GM. That's easy to get the backup quarterback. That's easily the GM's choice. Easily, he the one does that. He searches all that stuff. Gets all definitely he choose. They handpick Cooper Rush as the backup quarterback. No, no. Obviously, you could have went elsewhere. You could have drafted somebody. You could have drafted Shador. Well, my fault. Yeah, Shador didn't want to come. So they say. But you could have went after him earlier. You could have drafted somebody. You know, quarterbacks are a commodity. You know what I mean? You want to keep that pipeline coming. So, you know, why wouldn't you draft a quarterback, you know what I mean, and go ahead and get into the development game and develop a quarterback? Well, no, that's not what they did. That's not what they did. So, Ravens draft order, you know, that's not what they did, man. They went Malik Starks, right? They went Malik Starks, Mike Green, and Emory Jones. I'm not hearing nothing about Emory Jones. I know Malik Starks been getting torched. Wait, he from Georgia, right? I was happy when he got him. I was happy when I got him. Like, oh, whoa, got a dog from Georgia. You already know how it be. You know what I mean? From Georgia, them Alabamas, them Floridas. You know what I mean? Them SEC teams. You know, they be putting them teams out, them players out. So Malik Starks, that was DeCosta's pick, and he getting torched out there. Torch. I don't even like that. You know what I mean? Putting nobody down, nothing like that. You know what I mean? Because of course you can always say, man, he's just a young guy. You gotta give him time, stuff like that. You know what I mean? All that's true. But you know what I mean? Typically, first round draft pick. You know what I mean? They on the defense side of the ball, they coming in, they making a difference. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? My guy Kyle Hamilton did. You know what I mean? First year as a rookie, he just straight pop. So I'm not putting all the blame on Starks for sure. It's a team game. You know what I mean? You know, Van Noy still looks okay. Kyle Van Noy still looks okay. Um, the D tackles on defense don't look that good. But yeah, but back to the offense. So Cooper Rush to the receivers. The receivers doing their thing. I ain't got no type shade to put on the receivers. I'm not seeing no whole bunch of drop balls from the receivers. You know, I'm seeing the quarterback not have time. I'm seeing the run game stalling, but I'm not seeing nothing wrong with the receivers. But I am seeing some stuff going on with Mark Andrews. You know, I don't want to be, you know, the one, you know what I mean, to put somebody down, nothing like that. But, you know, Andrews don't seem like 100% like the same player because nobody is. You know what I mean? 5 years. He already been in the league, banging and doing his thing, you know, for 5, 6 years. But Mark Andrews, he be having his struggles. I'm still with him. I still think, you know, this roster, I like the pieces. I like how we got Andrews and Likely, two very good tight ends, But I'm just saying that Andrews is, having his struggles. And so we got to figure that out. Maybe we got to give Likely some more reps. And then light the fire back under Andrews. Even though he's fired up, I appreciate him. Like he's a good man. He's definitely definition of a Raven. He be blocking his ass off. I like Andrews, but just because that don't mean that he can't. Go sit down for a little bit. Let Likely get some run. All right, now this kicker for the Ravens. They missed about like a 55-yarder. You know what I mean? I know you're probably saying it's a 55-yarder, man. What do you think? Yeah, you can easily say that, but then in the same game, the other team had a kicker, Fairbanks, and he hit a 57. So yeah, we thinking that 55 is doable for sure. You know what I mean? So loop, you know what I mean? It's going to be cutthroat when it comes down to kicker. You know what I mean? It's a ruthless game when it comes down to them kickers. It's a productive type of game right there. It's very, very literal. You know what I mean? You start messing them, ain't no interpretation. They going to just get you out of there. You know what I mean? So, we know who picked Loop in the draft. So the kicker that Eric DeCosta picked, Loop, he missed a field goal today. No, of course, nobody's going to be, Justin Tucker, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But, I'm saying some inconsistencies, you know what I mean? And his kicking game. I really think he missed some of the preseason. I feel like, he ain't necessarily a weapon. Let's just say that. He's serviceable. Just keep him in range. But that sucks though, because you need a monster out there. You know what I mean? You need somebody that can get you the 3 points. Even you just barely cross the 50-yard line, bang, and it hits you a monster. You gotta be capable. You know what I mean? Hitting like 60s. You know what I mean? That's a good one. I think the guy the other day he tried for like a 67. That's what his attempt was. You know what I mean? So Luke, you on thin ice, man. I had to be honest with you, man. Yeah, Luke, you definitely on thin ice. And yeah. So Ravens got issues all across the board. It's bad on multiple levels. But I don't think at all. I don't know if anybody is saying this out there or not, but if anybody is talking about the Ravens should fire John Harbaugh or Zach Orr in the middle of the year, I think that would be silly, silly, silly talk. You know what I mean? It would be very an embarrassing thing. You know what I mean? And Ravens organization supposed to have some type of class with them. So, or just chill out on the firing talk. You gotta fire Zach, or we gotta fire John Harbaugh. Nah, that ain't gonna happen in the middle of the year. That's some type of stuff that's happened towards the end of the year. It don't matter if they went 1-16. Still ain't gonna fire them. You know what I mean? It had a run. Such a good run. I'm talking about John Harbaugh specifically, had such a good run, and it's his responsibility to go down into the defensive room and get things straight. So it doesn't matter if the Ravens even go 1-16, still wouldn't fire the guy. But hopefully Lamar Jackson gets back, because without him, ain't no hope. And with him, there is hope. Now, winning the Super Bowl seems a wild, wild thing to think about. Winning the Super Bowl, that seems nutty, really nutty to think that they can win a Super Bowl with that roster on defense. I don't see how. But I guess getting to the playoffs, battle back, 1-4. The division is weak. Just battle back. You know what I mean? Just get back. Just get back. It's a long season. They got so many games in this NFL season. It's ridiculous how teams be getting into the playoffs. They were 9-7 record, 8-8. It's terrible. I liked it better when it was only 16 games. So, just go win 9 games, somehow put it together, scratch some wins together. But Cooper Rush ain't really it right now. So, oh man, pray for us. Pray for the Ravens. All right, y'all. It's SK Sports Talk. I'm out. Appreciate y'all tapping in with me. I'll be back.